If you know me, then you know one thing, and that's that the Jak and Daxter series is my favorite game series of all time. So you can expect my enthusiasm to be high now that the Jak and Daxter Collection has made its way to the PlayStation Vita. First things first, I'm not going to review Jak 1, 2, and 3. These games have been around for years. These are aged games with hundreds of reviews and opinions out there to reference for more of an in-depth look into each title. And as I've said already, I love them. So naturally, I can tell you these are good games worth spending time with. What I will be doing, however, is covering how the actual remasters play and feel on the Vita. And unfortunately, this is where everything goes south. The Jak Collection runs terrible on Vita. Immediately jumping into the Precursor Legacy, even at the starting screen, even at the Naughty Dog logo, the frames drop. Nearly the entire game runs at a meager 20 frames per second, sometimes dipping even lower than that. I'm not even exaggerating here, it's incredibly noticeable, and it does hinder the experience. Through continued play, your eyes and senses adapt, but is that really how you want to play this? I'd say no. To make matters worse, the controls feel stiff, particularly in jumping and moving. Sometimes double jumps won't register, and the sensitivity for the left stick is bonkers during first-person sequences. These issues aren't just present in the Precursor Legacy. Jak 2 and 3 both suffer from poor frame rate and stiff controls. However, Jak 2 and 3 do have some smooth moments. Navigating Haven City or the Wastelands will have dropped frames due to the open area. But since Jak 2 and 3 both feature enclosed areas and separate maps through the door loading sequences, these areas didn't have that much of an issue. In fact, they usually performed at a solid 30 frames per second. In this sense, Jak 2 and 3 are a lot more bearable for the frames. However, Jak 2 and 3 require L2 and R2 far more often than the Precursor Legacy. L2 and R2 are allocated to the Vita's back touchpad, and that works about 50% of the time. Using the back touch just doesn't register sometimes, so you will have more frustration with the controls in Jak 2 and 3. Front touch support is here for all the menus, but that works so skittishly that you may want to avoid using it, lest the game crash on you, which for me, it has. Overall, all three iterations of Jak's adventure suffers greatly. The only redeeming thing here is that, well, it's Jak and Daxter, and it does look quite good on the PlayStation Vita. The games have not changed at all. They're as they always were, and they look great on Vita. It's also pretty awesome that the Jak Collection on Vita has 3 new Platinum trophies to hunt, separate from the PS3 version. There are even some Vita-specific trophies to hunt. Bringing the Jak Collection to the PlayStation Vita was an awesome idea. Not only that, but it seemed like a natural thing to do. The Vita is more than capable of running these games, so why are they like this? This just isn't quality work, and it's a shame that Jak on Vita plays the way it does. This is a situation that isn't hard to mess up, but that's exactly what happened here. The silver lining, though, is that these are all performance issues, and they can be addressed by a patch. Will they? That remains to be seen as of this review. Until that patch comes, if it ever does, I simply cannot recommend the Jak Collection on Vita. You can get through the games just fine and definitely enjoy it, it's just that you are going to notice frame rate issues and possibly the game crashing on you, and it will affect your play. Right now, playing them originally on the PS2 or remastered on the PS3 is the way to go, because the Vita version just isn't doing so well.